What's going on, YouTubers, Mopar people? This is Mopar Man 1978, and I'm back over here at my buddy's working on the squad car. We're having a fuel sending unit issue. Sorry for the fan. It's kind of warm out here, so I gotta have this fan blowing on me. But anyway, we're here in the trunk. I mentioned this the other night on the live chat, Uncle Tony's live chat with Dallas. Here's a 16-gallon RCI fuel cell with the 0 to 90 ohm fuel sending unit. Okay, as you can see, this wire right here is the ground for the sending unit. I double checked with my multimeter, I should say, here. I'll just give you an example here. Plug this into here, and as you can see, I got a good ground. Okay, it's nothing I did as far as the wiring. The wiring's brand new. It's all heavy gauge, good quality wire. Good connections. I ran this heavy duty wire all the way up through to here. My buddy wanted to keep the stock squad car look without the gauges hanging out underneath the dash and what's, so we hit them in the glove box here. I got the oil here, fuel. Well, as you can see, when I did notice that the positive wire that it says you're supposed to go to a 12-volt source. I did have it to a 12-volt source on one of the fuses on the fuse block underneath the dash. But when I was doing my testing with the key on, I noticed that some of the contacts on the fuses was putting out like 12.26, 12.40 on different ones, and then I found the lowest one that comes on only when the ignition is on, which is 12.2 or 12.6. So I went ahead and moved that wire to that fuse connection. So it's only getting, when the key is on, it's only getting 12.6 volts. I thought maybe that might have been in the issue. Like I said, I got all the wires hooked up. This is the more high quality, the 8000 or whatever you want to call it, EQUUS, 0 to 90 ohms fuel gauge. I went ahead and bought a cheaper EQUUS 0 to 90 ohms gauge. After I did all my other tests, I want to see if maybe this is bad from the factory, because I did a test on the sending unit with my multimeter. If I can find the here it is. I wrote it on a Casey's napkin. Put it on 200 ohms. When it was empty in the downward position, it was reading 1.6, and when I had it all the way up, like if the tank was full, it read 90.9. So from my understanding, from when I contacted the RCI, which I actually got a hold of the secretary there, but I guess the secretary is also maybe the owner's wife. I sent an email to, and he called me back, and the owner of the company, RCI, talked me over the phone, and he said the 1.6, give or take, is within specs for being on empty. The 90.9 is within specs for being full. I even reversed these two wires. I swapped them out. Maybe possibly a difference in polarity or something like that. This did not make any difference, because I went ahead and had it plugged in with the key on, and I moved the float arm up and down while watching the gauge from back here through the window, with the window down. And when the arm would go, when I pushed the arm all the way down, it would read full, which it's not supposed to do. Pull it all the way up, it reads empty, which it's not supposed to do. So I'm hoping maybe I got a bad gauge from the factory, from EQUUS. So I'm gonna go ahead and on my phone, the only way I can do like any type of editing on my smartphone is this. I just put it on pause, and give me a couple minutes, put it on pause, and I'll swap out the new cheaper fuel gauge to see if it makes any difference or not. Okay, I'm back. So here's the one that was in there. There's the other aftermarket one I bought this morning that was cheaper than the 8000 one. Got the key on to the on position. It is reading just under half a tank. So let's go back, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and zoom in. I don't know if you guys will be able to watch that or not. I don't have my what I call the conceited stick, the selfie stick, attached to my phone today to make it look act like a low budget GoPro. So bear with me. Sorry. Okay, I just pushed the sending unit arm all the way down, and the gauge is reading empty. And I let the gauge come back, or the float come back up in the tank. See if I can. Again, I apologize. Come on, camera, focus. Okay, I don't know if you can see it with me shaking. I got my arm propped up against a box here. As you can make out, the gauge now reads full when I got the arm all the way up. Okay, so now that is with, let's go back, there we go. So now I have these wires reversed. Let's put it back the way the instructions say to see if it makes any difference, but I won't put you through the torture of having to try to watch the zoomed in part of the video. I'll just let you know if it made any difference after I swapped it back to the original factory setting. Okay. Let's see here. Now on my Dodge, on my 65 Dart, when I put the exact same fuel cell in, and I did remember that I used the cheapest gauge, EQUUS gauge that I bought from O'Reilly's, and I think if I remember correctly, I had to swap the two wires from what the factory setting said to do, but we're going to try it anyway and see if it does not read right. So bear with me. course, they put the tiniest little screw on here, sheet metal screw, to attach this wire connection, and then it wants to fall off while you're holding the camera. Yep, I'm gonna have to tighten the screw down a little bit more. Again, I apologize for this, but I'm by myself, don't have anybody to hold this, and I don't have a tripod or anything like that. So let's see where it's at now. I got it back to the correct sender to sending, ground to ground. Let's see what the gauge says now. It's saying half a tank. So let me manipulate the, move the sending unit arm to the downward position, and I'll tell you okay. Now I will have to adjust the float arm a little bit because I got the float arm all the way up against the underside of the top part of the fuel cell, and the full gauge is just not reading, just a few hairs off from being completely full. So well, it seems to be working in either position, so I can either run it like this, like the instructions say to do, or I can flip it and it doesn't make any difference. So that was the problem the entire time, was that aftermarket, more expensive fuel gauge from EQUUS. I'll have to do testing on this to see. I'll have to go online and find out how to test one of these. Well, this is like the 8,000. This is like like $29 to $39. This is the more expensive one. I don't know if you can see that. L170409, and it said it passed, but that doesn't always mean anything. Anyway, and then I went and bought the cheaper one, which I'll show you the part number, the package it came in for the cheaper one I just installed. Here it is. EQUUS 5362, and it says GM on it, 0 to 90 ohms. This is only like somewhere between 23 and 29 bucks, somewhere, give or take, somewhere in there. I bought it at AutoZone. Okay, so I hope somebody learned something out of this today. I'm glad when I talked to the owner at RCI on the phone, the lady said that he was out working in the shop, so I guess the owner does everything hands-on. It's just not, he doesn't have a whole bunch of people working for him, I guess. So that's a good thing. And it's he said that if I still had any problems, that he would just send me a new sending unit. But he did also mention too that something acting up electronically nowadays, because anything is possible, especially since a lot of stuff is built overseas. Like Tony says, Chinesium. Glad that's working. I'll let the owner know. He'll be glad to know that when we have a full tank, we'll have a full tank, and when it's empty, we need to get gas. And then I'll fine-tune that arm in there, make sure it reads 100% accurately. But anyway, rambled on long enough. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.